All right, buckle up everybody, because today we're taking a deep dive into a real head scratcher. It's a tough one. We're talking classic cars. Two beauties from the 60s, and they're both vying for a spot around the same price point and your dream garage. So picture this. You're building your dream garage, but you've only got room for one more. All about finding that special car you connect with and pour your heart into that kind of car we want to pass down to your kids one day. So, which one of these beauties would you keep forever? Contender number 1, 1964 Karmann Ghia. This car is pure eye candy. Designed by the Italian firm Ghia, built by Karmann in Germany. It's got that sleek, sporty European look. It just screams cool. You can picture yourself cruising down the Italian Riviera, top down, wind in your hair. But here's the thing. The Ghia shares its chassis with the Volkswagen Beetle. So it's not a true sports car in the traditional sense, but it definitely captures that sporty aesthetic. And you know that connection to the Beetle. It speaks to its practicality. These were designed to be affordable and easy to maintain, which is great for a project car. Someone who wants to get their hands dirty. This particular Ghia even has a newer 1600cc engine from 1971. More powerful than the original, plus a new starter and operator. So that's a big plus for reliability, especially for those of us who maybe aren't expert mechanics. You're not starting from scratch with this one. So we've got a good foundation, but we also have to be realistic, right? About the typical issues with a car of this age. Rust on the rocker panel and floor. Now, some surface rust is to be expected, but rust on the floor pan, that could be a red flag. It might mean there are more serious structural issues, could require some extensive welding and repairs. That's definitely something to think about before you fall head over heels for those gorgeous lines. Speaking of falling head over heels, let's talk about that interior. It needs some love. Seats need reupholstering, and there's a gaping hole where the stereo should be. It makes you wonder what kind of sound systems have occupied that space over the decades. It's a time capsule. It's a reminder that these cars have lived a life. You know, they have a history. And while a missing stereo might seem like a minor detail, it raises a question. How much originality are you willing to sacrifice for modern convenience? All right, now let's hop across the Atlantic to our American contender, the 1965 Ford Thunderbird. This car is all about that classic American muscle and luxury. Bigger, bolder, built for cruising. If the Karmann Ghia is a whisper of European sophistication, the Thunderbird is a full-throated roar of Americana. Think wide open spaces, tail fins, and that unmistakable V8 rumble. Now, this generation of Thunderbird was a direct competitor to cars like the Buick Riviera and the Pontiac Grand Prix, all about personal luxury. And this T-Bird has the power to back it up under the hood. You've got a massive 390 cubic inch V8 engine paired with a 3-speed automatic transmission. It really speaks to the intended driving experience of this car. It's not about spirited back road driving. It's about effortless cruising, smooth acceleration, enjoying the ride in comfort. And the interior is designed for just that. It's got this amazing tilt-away steering column, shiny chrome accents, and gauges that look like they belong in a spaceship. It's like stepping back in time. A time capsule of American design. And I have to mention those cool sequential turn signals. So, we've talked about look, we've talked about features, but let's go beyond the superficial and talk about what it would be like to actually own these cars. Because that's where it gets really interesting, right? It's not just about fixing it up. It's about understanding its history, its quirks. The challenges of maintaining a piece of automotive history. And that's where Mark Tucker's Keep Them Forever philosophy comes into play. He has this great concept called the coffee cup test. Imagine this. You're cruising down the road in your classic car. Would you be comfortable enough to set a coffee cup on the roof? If the answer is no, then maybe that car is too precious. Too much of a museum piece to truly enjoy, to really get out there and drive it. It's about finding that balance between preservation and enjoyment. If you're constantly worried about scratches or dents, you're never going to fully embrace the experience. So let's apply that coffee cup test, okay, to our two contenders. Would you feel comfortable setting your coffee down on the roof of the Karmann Ghia, knowing it might need some serious rust repair? Or would the Thunderbird's smooth ride and powerful V8 engine give you the confidence to enjoy your coffee without worrying about spills? It's a fun thought experiment that forces you to consider your priorities, how you envision yourself using the car. And to help us with this decision, we're going to turn to the voice of the people. People were fired up about these cars. It's clear that both the Karmann Ghia and the Thunderbirds have some serious fans. I mean, they're both iconic in their own way. What struck me was how many people echoed Mark Tucker's "keep them forever" sentiment. These aren't just cars to them. They're potential companions. It's about finding the one that speaks to you. It's a testament to those V8s and transmissions built to last. With proper care, they can run for decades. Let's be honest, that sleek European design is timeless. It never goes out of style. It represents a time when cars were smaller, more nimble, gas-guzzling SUVs. There's something appealing about that simplicity. A few people were concerned about the Ghia's rust issues, though. That's a valid concern. They felt the Thunderbird was in much better overall condition, making it a more appealing project, especially for someone who's not a seasoned mechanic, maybe not ready to tackle a major restoration. It all comes down to your comfort level with body work and welding, or do you prefer something more mechanically sound, ready for some cosmetic touch-ups? Do you prioritize originality or convenience? It's a dilemma we face with all classic cars. How do we preserve their historical integrity while still making them enjoyable to drive in the modern world? There's no easy answer. It ultimately comes down to your personal preferences. What kind of driving experience are you looking for? What kind of project are you willing to take on? And most importantly, which car speaks to your soul? Which one gives you those chills? It's about finding that emotional connection, that feeling that you found something special, something you want to be a part of your life for years to come. So, let's bring it back to Mark Tucker's coffee cup test. Which of these cars would you feel comfortable enough with to set a coffee cup on the roof? Would it be the sporty, nimble Ghia with its rust issues? Despite the rust issues, would you feel more at ease with the smooth ride, the solid feel? It's a Thunderbird. It's a light-hearted test, but it gets to the heart of the matter. It forces you to think about how you would use the car. Would you baby it, keep it in a climate-controlled garage, or would you embrace its imperfections? Take it on adventures. It's about finding a car that fits your lifestyle, your personality, your vision for the future. Now, imagine for a second that you've made your decision. You've got the keys. You've got the keys in hand, the engine's purring, you're ready to hit the open road. Here you go. Who's in the passenger seat? Who are you taking with you? What's the soundtrack to your first road trip? What are you listening to? Picture the scenery, the sounds, the smells. Feel the wind in your hair, the sun on your face, the thrill of driving a machine that's a piece of automotive history. That's the beauty of this. It's not just about comparing specs and features. It's about igniting your imagination, tapping into that emotional connection we have with cars, helping you discover what truly matters to you. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. Yeah, we've gone from sleek European styling to powerful American muscle, exploring those two iconic classics, hoping to find a place for one in your dream garage. And we really tried to go beyond just the superficial stuff. We talked about what it actually means to own a classic, talking about Mark Tucker's keep them forever mentality, finding a car that speaks to you, using that coffee cup test to see how comfortable you are with a little imperfection. It's amazing how these cars evoke such strong emotions and create lasting memories. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with one final thought, something to ponder as you continue your own journey into the world of classic cars. Imagine you've made your decision. You've chosen the car that really resonates with you, the one that captures your imagination, fuels your passion. The keys are in your hand, the engine is humming, and the open road is calling. Where do you go? What's the first adventure you take with your classic companion? Who's in the passenger seat? Picture the scenery, the sounds, the smells. Feel the wind in your hair, the sun on your face. The thrill of driving a machine that's a piece of automotive history. Let that image stay with you. Let it inspire you to explore the world of classic cars. To find that car that truly speaks to you and to embark on a journey of restoration, discovery, and pure driving enjoyment. Remember, the joy is in the journey, and the skills and knowledge you gain are invaluable. You'll become part of a community, a lineage of passionate individuals keeping these beautiful machines alive, sharing their knowledge and their love for classic cars. So go forth, explore, discover, and embrace the magic of classic cars. Happy driving, everyone.